Welcome to the Final Wager, where it seemed tonight we had a little case of people forgetting to phrase responses in the form of a question. Luckily, Angie, on her True Daily Double, recovered just in time, and indeed, no guts, no glory. She's just barely in second place that she got in that last clue. She would be in a tie with Troy at 15-6. Instead, she's trailing by 800, Brian in third place, 6,400. Let's start with first and second, Troy and Angie. If Angie doubles up, she will have 30,400, so to cover her, Troy will need to wager 14,400. If he gets it wrong with that wager, that will leave him with 1,600, so to stay above that, Brian can wager up to 4,800. And Angie can wager up to 13,600. Alright, now we look at second and third, Brian and Angie. If Brian doubles up, he's going to have 12,800. So, to stay above him, Angie can wager up to 2,400. And now you'll see that Troy and Angie are separated by just 800. So Angie can cover a zero wager by Troy, and we are in another shortest conjecture situation. This is, once again, the strong form, because if Troy gets it wrong, he'll fall below Brian's pre-final total. So I would cover a zero wager with at least 800. I would also consider wagering at least 1,600 to cover the unsafe wager by Troy. Now we step into mind games, and I haven't covered how I calculate shortest conjecture wagers yet, because I've been having trouble figuring out a way to explain it. We'll just stick with these numbers for now. The method I use will change the numbers slightly, but we won't worry about that for now. If Angie wagers this 2,400 amount, she's going to have 17,600. So to cover that, Troy will need to wager 1,600. That's a strategic response. If he gets it wrong with that wager, he's going to be left with 14,400. And the funny thing there is that's 800 below Angie, so 800 is exactly what you need to wager in this situation if she thinks that Troy is going to wager strategically. Or she could wager 1,600 to cover the unsafe wager by Troy between that and 2,400. The last thing I would consider is if Angie, and this is, as usual, a little bit too much mind games, but I'll do it anyway just because it is possible. Brian wagers this 4,800 amount. Up to this 4,800 amount, he will have 11,200. So to stay above that, Angie could wager up to 4,000. And if Angie wagers at 4,000 and gets it right, she'll have 19,200, so Troy would want to wager 3,200, and then you kind of get into that back and forth again. So, the wagers that I would consider first and foremost, Brian can also wager everything if he thinks that Angie might go for this slightly larger amount, but he has such a big latitude here, I would stay with the 4,800. The wagers that I would pick for Troy are, well, lockout bet, obviously. That would be my first choice, and my second choice would be 1,600 for him, but only if he thinks Angie is rational. Angie, I would pick 800 as my first wager, and as my second wager, I would pick in this range. I wouldn't mess with any other illogical thinking, because I don't think Troy is that kind of player. But he could be, who knows? Let's find out now. Our third place challenger, Brian, got it right and wagered everything but 100. Over to Angie, who missed and wagered everything but 200. Finally, Troy, our champion, looking to repeat for the first time since Arthur Chu. He also missed and he wagered everything but 500. So, Brian, with the only correct response and a reasonable wager, is our new champion. Angie is kicking herself badly. This is why wagering theory is important, because she would be back tomorrow and would have a sizable check waiting for her in the mail right about now. I'm going to be in Arkansas tomorrow for a wedding, and I'm looking forward to another naturalistic edition of The Final Wager, and I hope to see you then. Take care.